It's been a crazy day when it comes to Tesla stock. Hell, it's been a crazy, 10 days that we've been on this run. So, I want to talk about a couple posts I put on X today to kind of explain why I think this should have been obvious to everybody. And then I want to get into Tesla stock and what I see as a potential where we can go from here and also potential risk. So, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I've been talking for the last 2 hours. Go check out the stream with Herbert that we did earlier today on Spaces on X. And then Randy Kirk should be putting up a video shortly where we talk about, the economy and more of this stuff broadly. So let's start off by me sharing my screen here. And I posted today saying Tesla and Nvidia are sucking up all the AI oxygen. Who would have thought, right? The company that enables AI, aka Nvidia, and the only company with an AI product that isn't a quote unquote feature, Tesla, and can actually replace a human driving would be the ones running. So when it comes to everything that's happening right now, I feel like it should have been pretty obvious, right? Like it doesn't take a rocket scientist, no pun intended, with Elon to understand what's happening here. I mean, I've talked about this at nauseum. All these companies are doing feature type products, right? With LLMs, and don't get me wrong, LLMs are extremely useful. I literally use them every single day. It's like Google on steroids, and it actually helps me be more productive. But it's not something that's really proprietary at this point. It's not something that has a moat around it. And so it's become ubiquitous, become a commodity. Whereas what Tesla's doing, a little different, right? It's not easy. It's not commoditized. There's lots of moats around it, and it's really, really hard. On top of that, I would argue it's a much harder AI problem because you need to have extremely fast reaction time. You can't have large latencies. There's no limited context window like you have with a lot of these LLMs. So it should have been pretty obvious. If that wasn't obvious enough to you, let me share my screen again. Here we can see, I rate again, who would have thought the company buying all of the Nvidia GPUs, Tesla, was bound to break out? Stupid Wall Street analysts, however, are confused and continue to think Tesla is just a car company. Again, you don't have to know every little thing, but if we all know that Nvidia is producing and creating, they're designing, and then they have produced through Taiwan these GPUs, and you need to have these GPUs really to be able to do anything within AI at this point. Who's the one buying all of them? It's Elon. Whether it's for Tesla, XAI, it's Elon that's buying all of them up. So, it's not a big leap to think, okay, if Elon's buying all these and Tesla's doing all these, and Elon's spending 4th of July on the South End, finalizing for the new data center, and he's going to have essentially all these GPUs, hundreds of thousands. Um, Maybe they're the ones that are going to do something, and Tesla stock has been beaten up. Interesting, right? Yeah, I thought so at least. And then, you know, uh, just to kind of get into talking about the stock, I posted this. Tesla, TSLA, in my opinion, can run much higher. If you think about it, everything that we have done up to this part, we're still not at all-time highs with Tesla stock, right? We still haven't seen the robo taxi. We don't even have them on the road or anything like that, let alone at the latest FSD updates without NAG or anything. We still don't have rate cuts. Jerome Powell today was talking, and to me, the way it sounded like was, if data supports it, September we'll probably get a rate cut, if not definitely November, and then we'll start our easing cycle. Um, we still don't have an administration in the White House that's friendly towards Tesla and Elon. We haven't gotten any Optimus updates in a while. We don't know about the next gen vehicle. It's supposed to come out at the end of this year or early next year, and there's still no licensing deal with any automaker. And like I said, there's many more. I could go on and on. So my point is, there's lots of things that are actually meaningful, lots of events, lots of milestones that could actually move Tesla stock. So there's nothing to say we couldn't go a lot higher. Now, on the other hand, lots of people would say, well, We need to start seeing earnings. We need to start seeing revenue, all this stuff, which is true to an extent. The reason I say that is because the market likes to front run things, right? So if we know there's going to be robo taxis, if we know there's going to be revenue coming from it, if we know Tesla Energy is going to double, triple, quadruple, if we know that all of a sudden we're going to see more Tesla sales, we're going to start having all-time highs again, if we know margins have dropped, Wall Street likes to get ahead of it. All right. So let's go ahead and start talking about let's start talking about Tesla stock. All right. So again, I'm going to share my screen here, and we are going to look at this, and here we can see Webull. Okay. Now here you can see that we're running up right now. After hours, we're up $1.46 or 1.5% to 263.79. But this isn't what I want to show you. What I want to show you really is, let's go back, let's say 1 month. Okay. So 1 month, and let's find where is July 2nd. Because July 2nd was when we had our delivery numbers. Okay. So this is July 2nd right here. All right. So July 2nd, you can see that we were at $209, call it. Well, before that, through June, we were down here at 180, and then we start to break out, got into the 190s. If you don't recall, it wasn't that long ago. We were hovering in the 190s, and then what was it? Call it July 1st. We got to $200, and then it wasn't until actually no, we got to call it 202. We broke 200 July 1st, and it wasn't until July 2nd that we actually went up to 209, 218, etc. Why am I talking about that? Well, the reason I'm talking about that is because my point is that we started to run up before we even got the delivery numbers or the energy numbers. Why is that significant? Well, because that tells me that the delivery numbers aren't necessarily why we ran up. A lot of things could have happened. For instance, we started a new half of the year. So maybe a lot of Wall Street investors, institutional investors, want to get in there, and they didn't want to miss the run up for the second half of the year. Very possible. They didn't want to have another, oops, we missed out on Nvidia moment. The other thing that could have happened was, if you remember at the shareholder meeting, Elon said that they were going around talking to investors, and Elon said most of them live in New York, so they don't really drive. And he asked them, like, have you tested it? Have you driven FSD? And most of them said no. And he's like, well, I think you should go drive it. So for all we know, a lot of them went, they drove it, and they were like, oh shit, this is actually happening. We didn't realize they were this far ahead and they were this far along. And so then we get Robotaxi Day, right? Like, hey, this isn't that hard to add up. So, and we know that who's piling right now is Wall Street, because of the volume, the sheer volume. We know it's them. All right. So that, I don't want to say explains this, but it dismisses the fact that this is just because of delivery numbers or energy numbers, because we started to run up beforehand. And I would also say it's probably not just a Robotaxi event, because, well, they've been dismissing this the whole time. So it's probably a combination of all of this. Second half of the year is probably all of it. But nevertheless, let's focus on a wider time frame. Let's go out, say 5 years. All right. So this is a 5-year look. And you can see that since we hit our all-time high over here at $4.14 or $414.50, we have had this huge resistance that has plagued us. This was what, 2021? And we're in 2024. So 3 years, this resistance has been brutal to us until recently. We finally broke out, and I'm talking about this blue line right here. We finally broke out of it, and not even a little. We broke out of it hard, right? So we are solidly out of this resistance zone. So that means we can run up a lot higher. Well, you might be wondering, well, how high? And this is not to say that I'm all about technical analysis or anything like that. I just think it's hard to ignore and it's interesting to look at. But I do believe in statistics. And so here is a great example. This is a Fibonacci retracement. Fibonacci sequences you can find in nature. You can find it in galaxies, right? It's a sequence that repeats itself over and over. And there's a lot of statistics behind it. Anyways, you can see if I take this, the last time we hit $300 a share, or actually $2.99 and 29 cents, was last year, and this was when? Let's see. This was almost exactly a year ago, July 19th, right? We're almost exactly a year out from when this happened. So July 19th, 2023 is when we hit the 299.29 cents, and we rejected it hard. And since then, we've essentially been on a downtrend, right? And notice that rejection happened on that big resistance that we have from our all-time highs. Well, things are different this time, because this time, not only did we break it, but we broke that resistance hard, and we are marching our way up to 300. So you can see that this retracement has us breaking 175. We broke 199, that 200 barrier. We broke 218 pretty solidly. We broke 237 right here. And now our next resistance was right here, 265, which we crossed barely today, but we'll see what happens. If we break 265, we can run up to 300. And here's what gets crazier. If we break 300, the next one after 300 is all the way up here at $400. So again, this isn't to tell you that this is going to happen, and this isn't financial advice. All I'm showing you are the things that I look at and that I find interesting. Lots of things could happen to send us back down. There's lots of reasons really for us to take a breather here. We ran up really quickly, right? 8.8 may be disappointing. It may be kind of like the Cybertruck delivery where it's like, yep, this is it. Okay, we're done. 5 minutes, right? Earnings may actually be worse than we thought. There might be something we don't know that's going to be in earnings. Lots of things could happen. But I don't think that's going to be the case. I think there's a good chance that we continue this momentum up. Just be careful out there. All right. We don't need to do anything silly. Don't start getting over your skis. Again, not financial advice. It's just I remember 2022 when a lot of people got crazy margin call, got their face ripped off with covered calls, right? Lots of bad things can happen. So just be careful out there. But this is what I'm looking at. And I really do believe that we can go much higher because, like I said, we still don't have the robotaxi out. We haven't had our event. We don't know what earnings look like. We're not even close to all-time highs yet. Fed rate cuts could happen. The new president could come in and be a positive for Tesla and Elon, the relationship there. Wars could end. Rates could cut. All these things could happen, and it could be very good for the stock market. But at the end of the day, Tesla needs numbers, and they need to deliver revenue and profits. And understanding where Elon and Tesla are seeing robotaxis actually on the road, what that time frame looks like, I think is critical. All right. It doesn't have to be on 8.8. It doesn't have to be at the end of this year, but a more boxed in, a kind of a more solidified timeline on what's expected, I think is very important. And to be frank, the cyber cab or whatever it's going to be needs to look pretty cool. It just needs to. Now, I expect it to because it's Franz. And hell, you see the reaction with the Cybertruck, even though everyone thought it was ugly. Yeah, kids love it. Kids flock to it. Kids sprint to it. I think if the Cybercab is anything like that, it's going to be insane. And Wall Street's going to love this. Again, Wall Street tends to front load these things. Wall Street wants to get ahead of the narrative. And just watch how quickly they turn on a dime as this becomes an absolutely amazing business. And here's the other thing to think about. If Tesla does this, if they roll it out, if Wall Street starts to believe in FSD, who's to say that they don't say, oh, well, if they did this with FSD, Optimus and the humanoid, maybe that's real. We'll find out together, won't we? All right. Those are my thoughts. Let me know what you think down below in the comments. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I love you all. Peace.